tastes different. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to Sublime. Running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They helped me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to Sublime. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They helped me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. I'm drinking out of Coronas with a lime. My thoughts get louder, and I forgot the time. I listen out of my headphones to Sublime. I'm running out of friends inside my mind. Don't know how I found them. They help me kill the time. A quarter pounder sounds pretty good tonight. Another hour, yeah, that just passes by. I could stay awake for a century, a memory. I don't think that I could take more than a breath from me. Nothing's left for me. Running out of friends inside my head, like losing power. The shadows start to spread. This food is sour, tastes different when you're dead. I need a shower, cold water on my head.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Racers Elite Network. After a week of being sidelined, we are back Thursday night as my brother, partner in crime, the Butterfinger Bandit. Ron, how are you this evening? I missed you, man. It's been a long week, but here we are getting ready, strapped into rock and roll. And tonight, the Circuit of the Americas, the place we're off of the high banks, and I think this is the biggest challenge these drivers have faced over the course of this season. We're going to see who shakes out and wins this thing at the end, but I feel like this could be the place where attrition is going to be critical. Who can survive and be alive at the end could be a big factor in this one.
Welcome to Butterfinger Bandit to the Wi-Fi Hustler over here. We're going to get things done here from the Circle of the Americas. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We've seen some very unhappy race cars here in final practice. A lot of these drivers really not faring well on the road course, and the Circuit of the Americas is a tough one to tame with the flat corners here, as they kind of got to work. They got to do a dance, do the jig like you say, but they're gonna do the jig here at the COTA, and it's weird transitioning the steering wheel and putting the pedal down and trying not to over rotate these cars to these corners, and we see some very unhappy race cars today.
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like I'm Ricky Bobby right now in that movie Talladega Nights, where he's given that interview and he doesn't know what to do with his hands because I don't know a thing about road racing. I'm being 100% honest. Usually I stem away from producing these because I feel like I am not the guy. So tonight we're going to give it a go. I know you have more experience than I do, so Rod, I'm going to lean on you tonight. And just like that experience that I don't have necessarily up here in the booth with road courses or on the racetrack, clearly we're seeing a shift in performance out there on the racetrack as well, as Troy Thomas, the Nitrous Cowboy, has all the boogie under the hoogie at Circuit of the Americas thus far in practice, as we now send it down trackside to begin tonight's gridding. Let's go ahead and send it down to pit lane and get ready to rock and roll here tonight for all of the rights and lefts, hard braking, and all that high fly and high octane racing action right here on Racers Elite Network. Want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Sound off in the YouTube live chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. We'll shout you out and get your favorite driver some extra screen time as well over the course of this race this evening. There we go. Beautiful looking Porsche at the front of this field, Ron. A big change from that typical Mustang or Silverado we see out there most of the time pacing the field.
Yeah, most definitely is. You were saying the Nitrous Cowboy Troy Thomas going to pick up the point, and that is a big change here. And he has found the Nitrous and found the longest straightaway here at the track, and I believe he may have straight lined the corners to get that lap time. But Troy Thomas has posted quite a fast time. He's even fast in final practice, so he's definitely put the time down and figured this track out.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks like he's had this one circled on the calendar for quite some time, as his car looks absolutely glued to the racetrack, and others seem to be having a little bit of trouble. And I know you even had a conversation with the head cook, chief, and bottle washer, Andrew Teft, as he said he didn't have a lot of time out there on the racetrack, so we're going to have to keep our eye on him as well. Let's see how he fares over the course of this race this evening.
Most definitely is Bill working around here. It's like I said, it's a little interesting for us because we're used to seeing the pole sitter on the inside of the racetrack, and he'll have that luxury when they come around the circuit here. But it's going to flip flop while they're under the pace lap series. He's going to be on the inside in one corner, outside of another. It's a little weird to see.
Yeah, that certainly is. Well said. I agree with you 100%. Is Truth Hoke going to roll off here in that second place position. Rolling off third, Diego Rodriguez. One of the shaken big boys, Braden Honeycutt, going to start here fifth. Running out your top five, Christopher Pendle, Zach Lockett, Jesse Fox, Josh Freed, Leroy, going to round out your top 10. Kirby Wayne Scott, the Colonel, 11th. Malcolm Hayden, 12th. Curtis Ecker's going to roll off here in that 13th place position, while Ryan Coker is going to start P14. And Teft, the Alex version, going to start in the rear with the gear here in that 15th place starting position. The final car to take the initial green flag here tonight is Troy Thomas. Seems to be primed, ready to rock and roll. And as impressive as that qualifying effort is, how about Truth Hoke up there as well? As green flag in the air. Diego Rodriguez currently in second, Truth Hoke in third, Brandon Honeycutt holding on in fourth. But Ron, look how quickly Troy Thomas is getting away from this field already. Already opened it up to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, I was watching that as well as I was going to talk about how quick this field, how the comfort level changed in 2 seconds of everybody getting spread out and going single file. And that tells you these drivers not quite comfortable with the way that these cars handle here and trying to figure this out for themselves. Some of them are a little bit green, if you will, as they get started with this race. As they pretty much single file. You see everybody really not pushing the corners here. It looks like they got to that one big hairpin there that they got to. It's a little treacherous and tricky, getting, especially on cold tires at the start of this race.
Absolutely. You have to take all that in consideration, all those factors that you're trying to process as a driver, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. You got to remember those small things that can become big things if you're not paying attention. And just like you said, those cold Dr. Feelgoods can bite you out there and, quite frankly, feel like you're out in an ice skating rink until you get some heat build up in those tires. Let's sit it down trackside for the first time this evening and jump on board with the Nitrous Cowboy, who's currently leading this field, putting up a blistering pace. Almost a 1 second advantage now for Troy Thomas as you're on board looking out his bumper GoPro cam at the front of Diego Rodriguez. Now through this very technical winding portion of this racetrack. And Ron, the first thing I'm noticing is, I mean, these lanes are not very wide. If you miss, you're going to pay big time.
I most definitely. They you can use the rumble strips a little bit, but there's if you ever drive this corner and get off in the grass just a hair, these cars they don't really like, not even just the cars in general. This course, the grass does not play very nice, and the grip factor not as friendly with you in that grass as much as it is on that rumble strip. You can hit a little bit, but you got to watch not to upset the car, much like we saw like the Charlotte Roval.
That's a
Or the
great.
Center Road course. Sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. Great point now is trying to give you guys some different looks and views over the course of this race since we're on a road course versus the typical camera angles that we see at a typical mile and a half or when we're just out there ripping it, turning left. This racetrack, like Darrell Waltrip said, this is a geological oddity as he comes off the final corner there, puts the loud pedal through the floorboards. He is screaming full song here right now. And I'll tell you what, this first turn here, I'm going to coin this thing parts corner because you got to jump on the biters big time. Now watch this turn. Talk about a blind leap of faith. I mean, you can't even see around the other side until you're on it. And Troy's making it look easy. Is he just went a 140.00. He is a rocket right now.
Yeah, Nitrous Cowboy's definitely finding the nitrous, like we said earlier. He's doesn't think he's straight line in these corners. But speaking of straight line in corners, Christopher Pendle's been penalized for maybe off track and maybe missing a corner on the last circuit around. So on the first lap of the race, or second lap of the race, he found out that iRacing isn't playing any games, and he had to slow down and give up some of that time gained. And that's a big factor in this race too, because I mean, yeah, 45 laps. You got time to learn the racetrack. Your tires are gonna wear. We're definitely gonna probably see some fuel stops. As Brandon Honeycutt getting comfy in that corner, drove right up to the back of the 20 of Rodriguez there, and he's gonna be able to. It looks like they're able to keep going, but at the end of this race, if you've accumulated so much of a time penalty, you better hope you got that gap between you and the guy behind you, because iRacing will dock those spots and move your time penalty.
Yeah, those time penalties can be critical and costly. You know, you think you're having a great day. Doesn't take much of a slip to get one of those penalties. And time out here on the racetrack, as big as this facility is, I mean, it is massive. Can have you from vibing to hating life in a hurry. As we're now quickly already through 4 laps of competition out of the scheduled 45 here on Racers Elite Network. You know, one thing that I had to make myself ready for, and I want to let all the viewers know, we're not having any scheduled full course yellows here tonight. We're going to have those local yellows, but we're not going to see that dreaded yellow flag out there on the racetrack. And that's another thing. Should you miss, should you have, a high five moment out there, is getting a notification here that Hayden Malcolm has had an incident. Let's quickly shift gears here, Ron, and take a look here at their instant replay. The man out of Amarillo, Texas. Let's see what happened to the 91.
So you get one of those corners, and he found the throttle a little fast. Unfortunately for him, he didn't suffer the full penalty there by going all the way around, but he was able to catch that and go back around. But we also have Joshua Fridas to pit road at 39, and I'm not sure. I think he might have had some contact incident here. We'll see. That looks like he's okay.
Alex Tepp. Oh, yeah, we got multiple cars right now that are caught in a hornet's nest. Alex Tepp getting a report that he has smashed it into the safer barrier. As we now join him on the replayed side of things. Let's take a look here at this one. Through this winding chicane section, or the S, as I would call it. If I was at Watkins Glen, he just gets a little too dicey there. That race car just says, not today, loses its grip, starts to slip. However, Rod, nice recovery there for Alex. Didn't even really come off the racing surface. He just grabs a gear and keeps on trucking.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him able to do that. As Troy Thomas definitely building on that lead. He's got almost a 4-second lead here. And he's slowed down a little bit, but somebody who hasn't slowed down yet, Truth Hoke, ran his best lap of the race last time around as a 140.820.
I'll tell you what, the North Carolina boys are representing well right now. You can even see the paint schemes have some similarities. Troy Thomas has a Wrangler scheme made famous by Truth Hoke in this series. And NCO, he goes off the racetrack. The Hickory man blew the braking zone. I feel bad, like I just invoked the broadcaster's curse on him. But how about the North Carolina boys representing first and third right now? They have that Mustang of Diego Rodriguez out of Michigan. Currently splitting those two up on the racetrack as he now jumps one position to the good here. Gets a little bit of air there as well. You can see the full travel of the suspension on that race car. Last time by, Troy Thomas still has the hot hand. But Truth Hoke put down a barn burner at a 140.82, his quickest last of the race run.
Yeah, Troy Thomas a little bit slower that time too. And Diego Rodriguez a 146.24. So Diego Rodriguez picked up the pace this time around. And I tell you, maybe some of these guys get a little cozier here. That may spell trouble for Troy Thomas later. Diego Rodriguez has 2 wins so far in the season. And tonight, he's already run that runner-up spot. Maybe tonight will be his third.
Well, I'll tell you what. Diego Rodriguez has already tasted victory lane twice this year. One driver that hasn't, Troy Thomas. And I think what he is doing right now is he's only running that race car as hard as he has to. I could be wrong, but the way that I've watched him in practice throughout qualifying in these opening laps of the race, it seems like, he is a road racing ace out there on the racetrack, and he's had this one in his mind since the drop of the green flag back at Daytona, and he is out there right now loving life as Rodriguez continues to keep that heat dialed up, though. In fact, you can see him and Truth Hoke coming into the picture as we continue to view.
Right rear tire around, and he had to gather it up and keep going. And that opened the door for Truth Hoke to try to sneak by, but unfortunately, I think he thought better of it. He knows it's still kind of early, that's a long way around this circuit. And all you have to do is really wait for that mistake and hope that you're not headed the direction that the guy in front of you is going to spin in.
That's right. Got to have a lot of hope and a lot of faith, in the words of Limp Bizkit. Now, Truth Hoke starting to dial up the excitometer inside of the cockpit of that Dark Horse Mustang as he closes the gap. Now, starting to, as I just said, apply some pressure there to Diego Rodriguez for that second place position. Let's join Truth Hoke inside the cockpit of his Chevrolet for the first time this evening. Listen to the throttle control, the patience on the brakes. Binders in full effect here tonight. And you can hear those tires screaming, just trying to struggle for grip. That's very apparent, Rod.
He's definitely using the throttle control to his advantage here. You see him trying to find different lanes on the racetrack here to keep up with Diego Rodriguez's number 24.
Oh, he's going to peek inside. Heidi-ho, Winslow, nobody's home. It is a John Force special off of Parts Corner. Drag race side by side. I knew that corner was going to give us some excitement, and there it is.
Well, that's the exciting corner, but now we're going to go up to the blind turn where they're going to do that 180. And that's going to be exciting because you see Hoke taking the inside. He's got to watch. Here comes the crossover. It's almost a slider line.
Diego almost stepped on his biscuits there, and they're still side by side. They are dishing it out right now.
Yeah, under the Echo Park Automotive Bridge there, and here comes the crossover move again. What? These S's are providing some racing action. There's some stuff we didn't think we were going to see. As it looks like Truth Hoke's going to take over that position and put Diego Rodriguez behind him in the mirror and try to get away from him as he tries to run down Troy Thomas, who has about a 5 3/4 second lead right now.
5 3/4 second lead, and Troy Thomas is loving this, but look who else is coming into the picture. A driver that couldn't keep his car any which way but straight. Brandon Honeycutt up to 4th, and he is closing in on this two-way battle here for 2nd and 3rd. Perhaps Honeycutt was messing with us a little bit here in the during the practice session out of Elizabethtown, Tennessee. As you and I were kind of paying attention to him, and it seemed like some of those corners were really throwing a curveball at him, but nonetheless, here we are. Green flag waves, and He has his game face on, and he is locked, ready to rock. As he is closing in, literally, he is there now, right on the back door of the 20 rod.
Yeah, he may have been testing his inner and outer limits there as things were rolling through practice and getting through qualifying. And I'll tell you what, watching Honeycutt gather this thing together is definitely improving his skill level here, especially at the Circuit of the Americas. You know, bringing him off the ovals out here to the road course. And he's figured out the circuit. His braking points maybe a little bit later, maybe concerned for a little bit of tire wear as he drove into that corner a little bit harder. I think he was afraid he was going to get into Rodriguez there as he came into, that was a pretty sharp turn. But, he made it look kind of simple compared to Rodriguez.
He did make it look very easy. Piece of cake, and here Honeycutt is. The Mad Magician looking to dial up a little bit of shake and bake road course style here as he lurks his prey. Oh, he gets a little loose coming there out of the corner. You see the back of that race car twitch. Going to send it back in there again, and he is peaking, and he wants P3.
You see they're working lap traffic, actually, is Curtis Ecker, as they worked around him. So Ecker now going to be a lap down. Multiple drivers a lap down at the moment, to include Curtis Ecker, Ryan Coker, and Kirby Wayne Scott. Wayne Scott definitely not very comfortable here tonight in the race's elite number 10 Toyota, but he's been keeping his nose clean. He's still out there running around the course, and the more experience, the more laps you put down here, the better you're going to be here for any upcoming road courses in the future. This is definitely going to make you a little bit more attentive to what's going on, and Rodriguez is driving a very loose race car right now.
That's a great point. And even if you're not going out there and setting the world on fire, that experience you get as he pulls off the racetrack here, did something break on the, he was just trying to be courteous, let that faster car by. But, getting back to what I was saying, even if you're not out there, ripping hot ones or in the top 2, top 3 in speed, you're still getting that track time. It is learning, and it is the effort is well spent. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get, and you will see those lap times pick up. You'll be able to attack those corners harder, transition back to the throttle faster, and start to gain that confidence. And as you can see, only 15 cars here, Ron, took the green flag, really stating that this track was intimidating. And some of these guys said, not today. We'll see you next week.
We got about 31 laps to go here, and the drivers out here seem to be conquering the course here for the most part. As you say, Kirby Wayne Scott's taking his time. He doesn't want to mess anybody else's race up. He's being very courteous as he allowed the 3 of Troy Thomas to work his way back around him. So Kirby getting some laps in here and maybe trying to figure this car out on this road course. It's Circuit of the Americas is kind of a little easier on everything, but compared to a couple other courses we spoke about earlier before, pre-race, like the Nürburgring with 154 turns, I think it was. That's insane.
Yeah, we were talking about that pre-race, and you were telling me the distance around that place as we send it up to the eye in the sky. Going to give a little pep to the blimp, speed him up a little bit, and look at just how consistent and planted that number 3 is out there on the racetrack. I mean, this looks like this is a Troy Thomas I haven't seen yet this season, and I am loving watching him out there right now, just dishing it out here at the Circuit of the Americas. I had no idea he loved road courses. Clearly, this is the case, and he is putting on the performance right now of the season. Go ahead.
Troy Thomas, the Nitrous Cowboy, and that Wrangler number 3 is definitely wrangling the Circuit of the Americas course here tonight. He's making this his place. He might as well call this home.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Wrangler boys have a stranglehold on the competition as you got Wrangler paint schemes, 2 Chevrolets, 1 and 2 team cars, of course. Diego Rodriguez is going to slip back to P3 where he started, and Brandon Honeycutt continues to sit back and just stress the crap out of Diego Rodriguez.
Pretty much, he's definitely right on the rear bumper, and he's going to be pushing him around the racetrack and trying to figure out ways to get around him, hopefully without wrecking him. But it's this course is tight, and there's not a lot of room for error, and you got to, if you're going to finish this race, I think the idea is to be cautious and courteous of the guy in front of you and wait for him to make that mistake and wait for him to kind of have it half gathered up and hope you're already on the throttle while he's getting off of it to try to get the car back under him.
Absolutely, 100%. And how about this? The HMFIC out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island, up there in the frozen tundra right now. Biggest mover of the race. No experience, no problem. He's inside the top 5, having a great run.
Yeah, him and Alex version back there, he started 15th, currently in the 12th spot, so they've opened up 3 spots. But you know what? The guy that's the furthest forward with the most positions gained is the biggest mover of the race. That is Andrew Tuft right now.
Absolutely is, 100%. Jesse Fox in the 69 ride out of Jasper, Indiana. This league does a great job of representing all the different sections of the United States. We got the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest. I believe we got a couple folks there in the up there in the Northwest as well. And great to see everyone out there on the racetrack tonight. 15 cars strong. The Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR, also the official sponsor of the 69 ride, being piloted by Jesse Fox. Out there on a Sunday drive right now. Really no one in front of him in the immediate close proximity. They're very similar out the back of his race car. And you know what, Ron? As suddenly the 10 appears out of nowhere. I had just widened it out moments ago and did not see him. And the 10 is going to pull right out of the way and let these guys continue on. Very respectable and courteous gesture out of the 10, if you ask me.
Yeah, he's got a 3.4 second pearl flag for that, but he's being courteous and out of the way. iRacing's just letting him go, but I know they don't understand that he's moving out of the way, so he's being courteous to everybody. As I was watching, Honeycutt is all over the back of Rodriguez, and he's trying to add a little bit of aggressiveness to his corners here. It seems like he's figuring out these corners a little bit more. Seems like coming off of the corners, he's able to run right to the back of the 20. And those braking points just a little bit later. If you look at the right front of the 13 car, his right front brake rotor is getting glowing red. Oh yeah, we are getting some heat packed into that right front. It's going to heat that tire up too if he continues to get it real hot.
Sending it down here trackside. Here is the money shot right there out the front nose of Honeycutt's race car. Oh, he threw the door, shut the door on him, slammed it closed on the 13. Diego Rodriguez clearly in defensive mode right now. He shoots out of that corner a little bit better than the 13, but look how Honeycutt is able to just howitzer in and attack the entry on this racetrack right now. Once again, he closes it right on the back door of Rodriguez. These two having a heavyweight title match right here for that third place position. Oh, they made contact.
Yeah, things get a little dicey between Rodriguez and Honeycutt here. It seems to be that Rodriguez is a little more aggressive on the throttle on exit, and Honeycutt's a little more calm, cool, and collected. He knows earlier he was spinning the tires an awful lot, trying to get back to the throttle sooner, and he knows that he's going to pay for it dearly and lose all that ground and track position on Rodriguez if he happens to make those same mistakes that he was making earlier. Or, like I said, he might have been testing it out as he's running really decent here, able to run up in the 4th spot, throttle a little slower. Looks like even Honeycutt wanted to spin the tires a little bit, maybe help rotate the cars to that last turn.
Yeah, and I think maybe Honeycutt is letting those tires breathe a little bit, trying to cool those temps down as hard as he's been just attacking these corners here. And you could see those rotors, those 17-inch ones, just glowing brighter than the surface of the sun here. And probably starting to think about tire wear maybe a little bit. We know how good he is managing the feel goods when we're turning left all day long. But something tells me if you're good at managing tires, you're probably good at it just about anywhere you put that race car out on the track. And I think he's just trying to be smart here and perhaps make the 20 use up his stuff and then just take the spot after he has exhausted a lot of the grip out there. Oh, the 20 misses, gets off the racetrack, catches a piece of the grass. Probably a penalty there for an off track if I had to guess. As Troy Thomas, Truth Hoke, Diego Rodriguez, Brandon Honeycutt and the HMFIC Andrew Teft round out the top 5 as we're currently writing lap 14 into the history books. 45 laps, the scheduled distance here tonight. While we were covering that battle rod, multiple drivers have had misfortune on the racetrack. Kirby, Wayne Scott, Ryan Coker, Josh Freed, multiple times here. And let's go back and take a look at these for a moment while this battle at least has dialed back just a little bit.
Yeah, I was also looking here. Troy Thomas went through the S's on lap 14, and he cut one of the corners a little tight and got an 8.8 second penalty. So he had to slow down and give that up. So fortunately for him, he had plenty enough lead that Truth Oak was still about 5 seconds out.
Thank you for that update. And as we go now to the replay mode here, let's see what happened to Wayne Scott just moments ago. We get this queued up for everyone back at home. That hard braking zone here, just kind of wanting to get through the S's, and I think he's going to pull over and let traffic go by, and that's going to register as an incident, and that's what happened there. So I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. He's just out there being courteous. So we now take a look at Josh Freed's incident in the 39 ride out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Whoop, the back of that Camry goes drift mode and does a nice job holding on to it right around the corner. So he's going to grab a gear, didn't make impact with anyone or anything. No harm, no foul. Perhaps just a little bit of a Code Brown moment inside the 39 cap as he continues to charge on. Ryan Coker as well. There's the 24, even into this braking zone here. Could be a similar situation. There he goes. He's going to send it. Comes off that corner clean. And he dives it back in the opposite direction. Huh. I am not sure why that is screaming at me that the 24 is crashed.
Maybe it's the rotation from the corner.
That could be it as well.
So quick, and it's you know, most of these like maybe SDK registers that is going in that direction since it's more of an oval thing. Or another thing that potentially could be that I've noticed here in SDK is also a mile per hour difference. Being there's a certain
Threshold, right.
Yeah. And that registers a crash if they get below that.
No, you're absolutely right. There are thresholds. There is logic there that triggers what is what. Oh, we got something going on here right in front of Honeycutt. Actually, I take that back. That was just how tight this racetrack is with this widening session. I thought something had happened in front of the 20, but or behind the 20. That is not the case, though. As it continues to run in that third place position, Honeycutt in the vicinity. This all going on about 9.6 seconds back of Troy Thomas. And to your point, Ron, that was after he served that 8-second penalty.
Yeah, he when they do their penalties, second penalties, so iRacing really got hard on Honeycutt, and he's got to run down the 20 of Rodriguez once again, and that gap, he's run him down already, but that wasn't too long ago. He had that penalty. It says it was back on lap 16, so it was a lap ago, but he was able to run him down. But we also saw how careful Rodriguez is being with each one of these turns, and Honeycutt is kind of being held up. He's the big bad bear of bad news right now. He's all over the back of that Michigan number 20 of Rodriguez, and Rodriguez is going to have to hunt the bear a little bit more if he's going to run down Troy Thomas.
Absolutely. He has dialed it back up to kill Honeycutt. Back on the assault. And Diego running for his life right now. This on board with Honeycutt. As he closes in just a matter of inches off the back of that Mustang. Diego doing a good job through this section of the race course. Just edging out the performance of Honeycutt's Toyota.
It's one thing that I like to. I really hate to highlight, the same two cars all night, but this is where the race is. Everybody else is spread out. We can talk about them a little bit, say they're having a great run, and everybody's really like on the move or moving right now as far as going forward. Troy Thomas is putting cars laps down. We were all the way up to Curtis Eckert, and that's times 2 now. As he's 2 laps down to the, Curtis Eckert's 2 laps down, Ryan Coker's 2 laps down. So pretty much everybody's 2 laps down. Kirby Wayne's got 3, and Alex Teft is 6 laps down. Which also leads me to think that Alex Teft is actually out of this race, as well as Joshua Frida's actually parked the 39 car. What I'm seeing here, and so that's
oh yeah,
he's 2 drivers out of this race.
Yeah, he has put it on the hauler already, kicking rocks out the back of the pond straight or the pond backstretch here. Kirby Wainscott, I believe as well. No, he is on the racetrack. I'll tell you what, I remember a couple years ago, the last time I was a part of a broadcast doing a road course race, it seemed to give SDK fits, and I'm starting to remember more of it now. Some of the nuances that we experienced over the course of that race. But, happy to get the experience and want to thank everyone for being involved. 18 laps on the board, ladies and gentlemen. The Nitrous Cowboy has his game face on, and he is doing things, big things out there on the racetrack. Currently has a 3.85 second advantage over his teammate Truth Hoke as they run 1-2. Diego Rodriguez rounds out the top 3. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, and when we come back, Rod and I will bring you through the field. Make sure all of your drivers, your favorites, get some screen time here this evening. We're also going to do a little bit of a Q&A session with you guys in the youtube.com live chat. Try to make this a little more involved, a little more personal with the viewers tonight, since this race is so strung out at the moment. And we appreciate you guys. Stick around. We'll be right back momentarily right here on Racers Elite Network. Don't go anywhere. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Racers Elite Network. As COTA is the place, and Troy Thomas, being the master of the race out of Boone, North Carolina, currently leads, but his teammate, the other Wrangler-sponsored Chevrolet, starting to run him down a little bit and cut into that lead run. Pardon me, I think Ron may have dropped his butterfinger. He should be back momentarily.
I was looking at Ryan Coker having some issues on the 24. He actually made contact with the pit wall, trying to avoid Troy Thomas. It kind of had me baffled a little bit to see that incident occur. But I tell you what, everybody's chasing Troy Thomas in the Nitrous Cowboy right now. That 1 minute 40.004 second lap time, and his race lead now that is still excruciating. It's actually been cut down by Troy Thomas by about, it's down to 3.3 seconds. So that he's putting a hurting on the gap that he had, and I think Troy Thomas may be being a little too comfy here. And I don't know that he got. I think he was just taking his time serving that penalty, and I think he finally got it all blown over and blown off there. Looks like the 91 Hayden Malcolm had some issues. He got his car gathered back up and back underway. The Apex Sim Racing 91. And speaking of Apex Sim Racing, I believe I may see some more of him here over the next 6 weeks, as I believe I'm closing a contract with them for it's Monday Night Racing coming up.
Well, congratulations first and foremost, and always great when you can add a new partner to your channel. Always at that depth is tremendous. It helps that relationship, everything it does behind the scenes, and I wish you a long-term successful relationship with them. As hey, we're all about growing business any which way you can. And speaking of that, if you may be watching out there on the airwaves right now, you think you got what it takes to come out to Racers Elite and hang with some of the big dogs, we'd love to have you. We'll get you in the Discord. Andrew Teft, all of his staff, can get you pointed in the right direction. And who knows, maybe next week that could be you out there on the racetrack tearing it up in prime time like this man right here, the Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas, currently leads. Well, Ron, we promised everyone we'd go through the field as we currently have 23 laps to go. So let's go ahead and do that.
Well, looks like right now your race leader out front in the number 3 Toyota has been from the get-go. It's Troy Thomas, and behind him, following close in his vapor trails, but only close enough to smell him, it's Truth Hoke in the 55, and Diego Rodriguez is hanging out back here in the 20, and he's lost Brandon Honeycutt. Honeycutt was working the back bumper of that 20 and no longer is there, as Andrew Tepp now in the 98. The Racers Elite 98 is in the 4th spot. Christopher Pendle not far behind him in the Mountain Dew 94 is 5th. Well, speaking of the number 13 Toyota, Honeycutt is now in the 6th spot, and he's working on going. I think he got trapped behind the 24 of Ryan Coker, who's in the 12th position. Sorry to jostle us around there, but he's made his way around him, and looks like going to work to run back down Christopher Pendle and Andrew Teft, and what to see with 23 laps to do. It's a long way around if he can catch back up to Diego Rodriguez. Zach Lockett currently in the 7th position. Jesse Fox has scored 8th and is on pit road, so we've kind of hit this in the pit road trend. As Leroy Koblenz is 9th, running your top 10 is Hayden Malcolm.
Hayden Malcolm rounds out your top 10 as pit stops now underway. The top 3, I can tell you, currently on pit lane as Curtis Ecker up 2 positions out of South Williamsport. I believe that's Pennsylvania. I could be wrong. In that 8 machine, Coca-Cola on board. You could probably use one right now as it's rather warm out there on the racetrack, as he currently runs at 11th place position, is Ryan Coker, who just boxed the Honeycutt in the Bears cage on the racetrack moments ago. Rounds out your top 12. The Colonel, he's fighting the good fight out of Sparta, Kentucky, holds on to that 13th place position, while the 39 ride of Josh Freed and Alex Teft currently off the racetrack round out the final 2 positions of that 14th and 15th place position.
Race leaders around.
Race leader, hard impact. King Kong the fence. Oh, this is going to change everything. What happened?
HMFIC.
The HMFIC is out front, but let's go back to what just happened here moments ago with the man that was running away with this race. That was Troy Thomas. And that dark voodoo cloud paid a visit to his 3 machine here as it looks like he's side by side with Teft. Let's go ahead and cue playback here. Slowing it down. The 3 squeezed tight there. And does he lose it coming off the corner here?
He was good coming off the corner.
Oh!
And then he went to get back to it, and it just spun.
Oh, that's difficult to watch for both of those drivers. Let's go ahead and back this up. Engage the flux capacitor here. Let's freeze frame it right there. Let's see if we can flip this around. That's not the view I'm looking for. Here we go. Teft down pit road now. You can see the smoke coming out of the 3. The 98 kind of kept him just a tick tight there. And then his back of that race car steps out. The 98 was there. They high-five each other. However, it doesn't look like a substantial amount of damage to the 3. However, that could derail the race that he has been having thus far. Is Christopher Pendle in the 94 machine? Where did he come from? Now your race leader has not been down pit road yet. So he's going to have to come down at some point. Brandon Honeycutt doing Brandon Honeycutt things. Up to second, last pitted on lap 22. Diego Rodriguez currently holds down third as he's down on lap 23, and that's everyone else inside the top 5-6 cars. Starting to get interesting here in the later going of this race run.
Yeah, most definitely pit stop's going to play a part in this. These drivers making that noted, as we had that incident with Andrew Teft in the Troy Thomas number 3 Toyota. That incident going to shake things up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to throw us too far out of a loop here, as Teft, of course, had to go to the pits. He's back on the racetrack, and I tell you what, it's going to get quite interesting here because Troy Thomas is right there as they roll through the, I believe it's the S's part of the course there where they are located now with those 2 drivers, but it might get a little shaky with these 2 drivers after a little bit of contact. We'll see. We know it was accidental up here in the booth, but it still may be a little aggravating as the 94 Pendle about missed the pit entrance there. I don't see a penalty for him for missing the commitment, but pretty close there for the 94.
As it's getting dicey for Pendle, just barely making pit road. Potentially a new battle is brewing out here on the racetrack between 2 drivers that just got up close and personal on the racetrack, and as a result, it spent the 3 machine of Troy Thomas flow rider mode right round into the fence. Now he lurks, the 98. And you can see he may be driving with a little more of a chip on his shoulder after that one, Rod.
Yeah, most definitely. Something we watched earlier, the tides have changed a little bit. Brandon Honeycutt is now leading in the 13th Toyota over Diego Rodriguez's 24. So a little bit of a thorough rehearsal here, and as we watch things potentially heat up between the 98 and the 3, but nothing too crazy happening yet. It's going to be interesting to see here as they're rolling. I think the 42 that's in front of them.
Troy Thomas has fallen back just a little bit of the 4, or the 98, who's up 4 spots in that 4th place position. So thank Andrew Teft for your pick 3 lottery numbers here this evening. And my God, we have a gaggle of cars all right here. We have 4 of them racked and stacked on top of each other, and just about anywhere on the racetrack. You can't see one as far as the eye can see, but not the case right here, as this is where the Hornet's Nest is.
Yeah, Koblenz pulled aside and allowed them to get by. He doesn't want to cost anybody any positions. He's back in the 10th spot right now, just kind of maintaining that ride around the racetrack. Well, a lap and a half, almost 2 laps down, as Honeycutt's leading up front over Diego Rodriguez and Truth Hope.
Truth Hope, and this is a man who we really haven't talked too much about, and he has been out there just doing his thing, vibing. I didn't think Truth was a road racer. I've never heard him talk about it. But then again, surprise, here we are. And that couldn't be another similar story for Troy Thomas as well. But Truth Hoke having a great run here. I can't help but think back, not to talk about, bring up the past here, Ron, but how many times have we seen just shocking things happen to the 55 at the end of these races?
Brandon Honeycutt missed his entrance to the corner, and Diego Rodriguez is there. He's going to almost give him a bump. Battle for the race lead. Rodriguez is getting faster and cozy and comfy here at the COTA Raceway circuit, and he is battling. I believe he just got, no, he's good. I believe he got a penalty the way he slowed down, but I think he was slowing down and preparing for the next corner. And we talk about making corners on the ovals and having to back the entries up and having to let the car roll through the corner and use a little bit of throttle and maybe some trail brake to get these cars to rotate. But Diego Rodriguez was backing that corner up and preparing for the next one before I think even Honeycutt was preparing for the next one, so it kind of gave him an advantage there. But now that little bit of adjustment to that corner to deal with Honeycutt being in front of him may have cost him a little bit of ground there. But he's going to make that back up. Still got some time here. Got 18 laps remaining here to be able to get around Honeycutt. I don't know that we're going to see another pit stop or not, but we'll find out.
Right now, Honeycutt saying, Hail Mary, full of grace, don't let the 20 take me out of this race, is he almost made contact. Oh, Honeycutt makes a mistake. He goes off into the grass, goes John Deere mode. However, that may have been a painted section of the racetrack that looks like grass, as he brought it back out there onto the preferred lane like nothing happened. However, that has allowed that dark horse Mustang to use the force and close in right on the back of that TRD-powered machine.
Yeah, the 13 having some issues with the amount of pressure that Rodriguez is getting on him. He's going to push the 13 around. I don't believe contact was made, but it was enough that Honeycutt reacted and is going to lose the handle on that race car as he gets it recorrected and driving off and back to, well, he's going to have company again. As now Hoke is going to challenge for that number 2 spot.
Oh my God, Honeycutt got faked out to the point where he actually made a mistake on the racetrack. The back of that car steps right out. Now he has a rear full on the business end full of Truth Hoke. A shocking turn of events here as Diego Rodriguez is now slipstreamed the 13 with a play you'd seen on with something out of Saturday Night Live per se. And now he leads. Honeycutt back to second. Truth Hoke closing it in third. The storyline here, Rod, starting to build here in the later going of this race. Can Brandon Honeycutt rebound? Troy Thomas, I think he can. Troy Thomas, the man that was perfect, lights out, all goes bad with a high five with Andrew Teft as he now finds himself slidden all the way back to that 4th place position, and that damage has taken some time out of his lap time. Translation has slowed down the pace of that 3. Last time by, he is running some of his slowest laps of the race. A 142.45 for Thomas. Hoke still in the 141 second bracket. And Diego Rodriguez still a little bit quicker. So clearly that damage is affecting the performance in the 3 camp.
Yeah, most definitely. And I was looking here. It looks like Honeycutt, when he came in, might have only taken 2 tires and fuel compared to his pit time versus everybody else. So it may have been a strategy call in the 13 Toyota.
Rod, you're reading my mind. I was just getting ready to announce that, and how fitting to see that play out of Brandon Honeycutt, one of the best tire-saving guys. I think, I'm going to step outside of Racers Relief, potentially on the iRacing.com servers. I don't know how he does it, but yet again, here he is again, just showing why he is so tough to beat. He has all these different ways he can beat you, all those tools in the box per se. But I'll tell you what, Truth Hoke, he is sending it right now, and he is trying to pull the Intimidator on that number 13 machine like the Dale Earnhardt Sr. of old, trying to make a mirror drive and make a mistake here as he closes it on the back of that Toyota.
Yeah, I was peeking around for some other battles on the racetrack, and right now, unfortunately, that is the only battle with everybody being spread out. We do have, I believe, it was a 94 of Nope, not that one. I was looking at the blue car. That's probably...
Oh, big time move there. Hulk just set it in there Bon Jovi style, living on a prayer. We got to back this up. I'm sorry, folks. We have to take another look at this.
That was a little dicey, wasn't it?
Watch this move. I mean, you want to talk about risk versus reward? Full-blown high stakes mode. Watch this bonsai kamikaze. I don't even know how to describe this. This is wild. That's what happened. The 13 wasn't able to keep those tires fixated to the racetrack. They gave up grip, started to slip. That's how Truth Hulk was able to get by. He still aggressively set it in the corner, but when I was on board with the 55, it looked like that was just a blind send with no lug nuts to give, but that's why you have replay, Rod.
Most definitely, when you go back and look at that, I was kind of thinking drift mode there.
Yep.
To be able to make that move, and it's I was thinking full send Ken Block style into that corner.
That's how it looked initially. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it's Diego Rodriguez is out front, and he has definitely got a cozy lead over Truth Hulk, and I don't feel like, I know that we're still not quite single digits away yet, but I think I'd be comfortable even giving up some ground right now to the 55.
Absolutely.
This race car, solid through the corners, because you know that Truth's going to push it, and he's more liable to make a mistake. If he knows he's running you down, he may try to run that much harder. And a lot of these guys think that if they can run away and continue to build on that lead and push themselves to make their car faster, that they've got a better chance at this thing. But I think if they back it down a little bit, take their time through these corners, and hit their marks and be able to keep this car straight, you've got more of a chance of the guys behind you making a mistake trying to catch you that much faster.
Absolutely. Well said. And, this is best case scenario right now for Diego Rodriguez. 99% of the time, you always have to worry about that caution flag. However, we're at COTA. That can't not jump up and bite him in the Goodyear. That's impossible. Not going to happen. He has north of 12 seconds of an advantage, a cushion, and that's a huge one. He might as well be the difference from Florida to California, if you ask me. Does not have to push it out there on the racetrack. He can just run a comfortable pace, not push that race car. Everything right now is as good as it can possibly get for Diego Rodriguez. On the other side of the coin, here's Truth Hulk out of North Carolina. Showed a lot of speed and a lot of poise and confidence out there in qualifying. Great pace in that Chevrolet all race long. And he has toughed it out, and he has been executing, been able to overcome some of the adversity that he's had out of the racetrack, able to get by Honeycutt, which looked like a bonsai move, something you'd see out of Mission Impossible. But however, upon further review, Brendan Honeycutt had a rare mistake there. The back of that race car just did not want to bite into the racetrack. You've seen the tire smoke fly. Truth Hulk was able to slipstream him into that second place position. And this is the driver now where all the pressure is on. Right here, these two, Honeycutt and Truth Hulk, they know that real estate. They know the gap to that 20 car. They know the only way they're going to be able to go up there and challenge him is if they can find a way to really elevate to the next level and perhaps drop their lap times, by a half second. And I know that sounds astronomical, but I mean, outside of Diego Rodriguez getting struck by lightning out there or catching a Mario Kart turtle shell to the face, it's going to be a pretty tough order for Truth and Honeycutt to get there. But nonetheless, still a great effort as they're locked in the podium as it stands right now with 14 laps to go.
Well, we missed part of the competition here because Brandon Honeycutt posted in the chat earlier. He said the last person to 25x wins. And Diego Rodriguez's reply and comment was, I thought it was the other way around. And now he is out front.
That's why I'm laughing.
So, a little bit of interestity behind this, and the drivers have a little fun before. This was prior to the race even starting. This chat's just been kind of lingering in there. I was kind of looking at it. Just
Ooh, that got a little...
reading it in my mind.
Absolutely. sometimes we don't know the whole story or the chats these drivers have inside closed doors per se. But thank you for sharing that. That certainly was kind of funny. Is Diego Rodriguez, a driver that always is a threat anytime you go to a short track, intermediate, super speedway. And he's showing here today once again that he can get it done all phases as he leads here, a driver that has 2 wins on the season already and looking to keep that momentum rolling as we're coming now to be 12 laps to go, this time by at the line. As that battle between Truth Hoke and Honeycutt has died off once again, shuffling the deck up front. The Nitrous Cowboy, tell you what, while his sales may be a little bit deflated given what happened out there, I think he is doing a heck of a job muscling that race car around this place, given the damage that he has. He's off the pace, doesn't quite have the spark that he had earlier, but he is out there solidly inside the top 5. Christopher Fendel, who currently owns that 5th place position, almost 5 seconds back of Thomas. Still something to hang your head very high on, but I'm a race car driver at times too, Ron, and the mindset will shift not from having a good, solid effort to what could have been if he didn't have that contact with the 98.
Yeah, most definitely. It's hard to tell what this race could have been, and 12 laps to go, and they're working their way around this course. Rodriguez having a fantastic run right now, and just looking to see, they're in that tight part of the course of 69. Looked like he was a little slow on the map, but looks great now. It looked like Rodriguez, he's got to watch these. The biggest thing that could really slow this race for Rodriguez right now, he's at almost 13-second lead, 12 3/4 second lead right now over Truth Hoke 55. But the biggest thing that Rodriguez has to worry about right now is getting the apex of his corners just right, and not cutting those corners and having to give up too much time. And like I said, he may have that big lead, but he has to really focus on his entry and exits of these corners, because he could literally give this race away just by adding up too many penalties here in the last 12 laps.
Yeah, you don't want to do what he just did right there. You don't want to go off the racetrack like that, because these penalties, they do add up, and you can point out of this. And I've done it from the lead before, and that is by far the worst way to lose a race. Yeah, it stings when you lose one in overtime, contact, collision, getting wiped off the face of the map by a lap car in the final lap. What hurts even worse is when you point out of a race, and I guarantee that is synonymous across the board with everybody.
I don't think I can actually see the incident points here as far as, actually, usually I can. I don't think they're getting incident points for off tracks here as much as they are getting cut tracks, because I'm not seeing the incident points actually calculate. So they probably are, but I'm not seeing it in my admin box here, and not certain. Kirby Wayne's got a black flag for something in the 10. He was leaving the pit, so I think he was too fast exiting.
Yeah, I was going to say he was too fast exiting pit lane. The speed police at COTA got him, and he is right now in that pit box serving that penalty. As we now jump back out to the racetrack here with Diego Rodriguez. Let's send it up here to the blip momentarily. He's going to kind of use a little bit of nitrous himself to run at a faster pace and keep that camera pointed towards the action on the racetrack while we send it now to the youtube.com live chat with 11 laps to go in this one. Jesse Fox chiming in saying, can't wait for this one. And then he comes back in and says, no one. DC says, this is going to be fun. We're having fun.
Oh,
Heather H. sounded off in the chat. Let's go 20. She's betting on the right race car as Diego Rodriguez currently commands this. He is largely in charge with a 13-second advantage over Hoke right now, who is in second. Appreciate you being here, Stephanie. Thanks for your time and supporting the cause here on Racers Elite Network. And then she went on to say, doing great, Troy and Truth, 100%. The Allen experience jumping in. Allen, we missed you, buddy. I thought you were going to be my in-race reporter. I even had your name on the SDK file. And he's jumping into pro dirt. He's doing his dirt thing. Alan is a die-hard dirt racer. Also does a lot of media stuff. He has those credentials and takes some darn good photos as well. And I know he lives for those moments, so I wish him well and hoping he's having a heck of a time as he is all things dirt right now. Hope to see him back in competition sooner than later. We miss you, buddy. And
Yeah, in the meantime, some great hands by Zach Lockett to miss a spinning Jesse Fox. The Fox of 69 got a little loose there and almost completely looped. It did like a 90-degree spin, and Lockett was able to rock it around the outside of him and keep that nose clean on that 93 Toyota.
I like it. Zach Lockett, the Rocket, rocked it around the outside. Nice wordplay there, buddy.
Oh yeah, she's looking beautiful out here, and beautiful and fantastic for Diego Rodriguez. He continues to build on that lead, almost to 15 seconds over Truth Hope right now. So Diego Rodriguez has set the pace, and he is taking this one turn at a time as he makes it around the Circuit of the Americas Raceway here. And that Michigan number 20 looking good for victory lane potentially, but we're not going to count these chickens. We'll let him continue to demonstrate how to make it around the race course, and maybe be able to park that 20 in victory lane when this is all said and done.
You know I made the Talladega Nights reference at the top of the broadcast, and we couldn't be anything further from Talladega, but I almost feel like this is in the race where, he's sitting in his car drinking his macchiato, just not a care in the world, just out there like it takes zero effort. It obviously takes effort, but that's, the lead that he has right now over the competition, 15 seconds. No cautions in sight. Nothing can derail the 20. I mean, unless someone finds a ramp, goes Dukes of Hazzard mode, and torpedoes into the 20 and blows him off the face of the earth. I mean, it's going to take something out of the Looney Tunes. A Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner incident.
There was an incident in front of your race leader, but it wasn't close enough to hurt anything, I don't believe. I was watching things at the 69.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Not to cut you off there. You know what? I'm going to stop talking about the 20. we're not.
Figure out on that for sure. It's I wouldn't say that the full course yellow is impossible, because we do have race control out here, and we're only human error is possible, and it's not inevitable.
One slip on the stream deck and things can happen.
You got that right.
I'll tell you what, Diego Rodriguez would be madder than a Keebler elf that got demoted to Fudge Packer if that would happen. They better. I would feel bad if that was the case. Oh my goodness, Rod, the black box is lighting up here with crash information, as it looks like Zach Lockett, Curtis Ecker, and Ryan Coker have all crashed simultaneously at the same time. 8 laps to go here. Let's cut to replay coverage. Here's the 8 of Curtis Ecker. Everything looks okay here, but the next couple frames could tell the story. Nope, it's just that zone of the racetrack giving us false positives again.
Yeah, the road courses are really, really great for that with the SDK gaming software. It's a hard one to actually adjust for, because it's not something that we're really familiar with, and we don't know the differences in the speed at the point in time when things are happening. This is like Leroy down here slowing down to let Kirby and Troy Thomas go around. I think he was only really wanting Troy to go around, but Kirby just happened to be there right with him, close enough that he was able to sneak in there. But yeah, we don't want to, somebody's cat at the race control house could be a little bored and be like, yeah, we're bored with this. Let's spice it up a little bit. As the 69 loses control in front of your race leader, and the 20 of Rodriguez gonna work his way around in that Ford. Not to, he was the only Ford in the top 5, but Christopher Pendle started in 5th, and we can't really rule out him not having a great race because he's maintained that position. So Pendle almost a road course ace here as well, with being able to master almost 45 laps here. I don't think he's gone a lap down, as Hayden Malcolm in 9th is the first car a lap down. And unfortunately, no lucky dogs, no wave rounds here at Dakota because of the local yellow only mode that we're racing here today.
Well, Christopher Pendle from Team No Shift. Oh, wow. Whoa. Let's not do that again. He almost took a race car to the face there. That was a matter of inches for Pendle. The Mountain Dew man from Team No Shift. That's funny because you're shifting here, but I understand what he's getting at. Speed Cooperative Motorsports, JC Racing, and DIG Racing. Pendle having a great run here, holding it down in the top 5 in that Dark Horse Mustang. Heft, I think, what he's faced today, that scary moment he had with the Nitrous Cowboy, sitting out just outside the top 5. Still some time on the board for not claiming to be, or for, basically with your time spent with him, basically saying, hey, I haven't had a chance to run this place. I don't know much about it. 6th place is not that bad at all.
No, he's got some time to catch Pendle. It's just, I don't know he's going to have enough time. But he's definitely going to, we know he's out there trying, and 7 laps to go. And they're not exactly in the frame, but you got to watch because you never know where you might find your fellow racers on the track throughout the course of this race. They could be spun out coming out of a corner, and that blind corner could be the one, and you might end up piling into him. Oh, it's definitely, he crushed the corner coming to this. What a move. Great hands by the 98 to hang on to it. I don't know if it's going to help him catch Christopher Pendle because he broke traction to the rear end, but we'll have to see. But that was one heck of a brake lockup as he tried to drift into that corner. I didn't say he tried to drift, it just happened, and he had to react. Great move.
We were on board looking out of the back of the 94 as we seen Tef go drift mode. The smoke was flying. Something tells me he may need a new race suit, some scented candles, and wet naps after that one. But wow, what a ride for Tef. Check this out. Let's get this queued up. This is worth a look. So there's the 98 right there. All is peachy keen right now. However, in the words of Larry the Cable Guy, not for long. Watch this. Incredible. He full-blown drifts it. He drifted 2 corners there.
He sure did. And that was phenomenal. And that's a Ken Block display here at COTA for sure.
That camera angle didn't do it the best justice, so let's wind this back one more time. I mean, this is I don't know how you do this. He's drift mode there, drifting there. Look at the front tires lock up, back end almost comes around, and he makes the corner. That 90-degree corner coming off of that hard braking zone, he sticks it. That's absolutely incredible, and I don't think he got a time penalty, Ron.
He did not. I didn't see a penalty pop up for him. He kept it in the margins and proved that that was the way to go through that corner.
I want to see him do it again.
Well, I mean, it's not the fastest way around these corners by any means, but he made quick work of it and got it back under him. As just kind of progressing forward through this. It's quite interesting to see it happen. It's these asphalt courses, they're very quick to do that.
Tell you what, the excitometer definitely was pegging off the limiter there when that happened for Tef. That's I can promise you that. Here we are now. Go ahead.
I know that when he got on that loud pedal and found out the RPMs are going and he wasn't moving forward, he definitely knew he had his hands full.
I bet you. I wish we would have been on board for that. We could go back maybe later and look at it again. I'm probably going to clip that and I'm going to save the replay. Maybe we'll do something fun with it, as Devil Charger said in the chat. We're having fun.
Right. You will love every second of that, I'm sure.
As Diego Rodriguez now leads as the gentleman's handshake lap on the board. Just 5 laps remaining in this road race battle from Circuit of the Americas. The first stop of the road course action here in the series. Oh, but big times. The 93 Zach Lockett, the Rocket, looked like he was trying to drift around the 20. Disaster almost literally popped off in front of the 20. Okay, I officially take back what I said about Wile E. Coyote and the Acme Rockets. I don't want to do this.
Well, you had the Acme Rocket was the one that was bringing the game pace. He spun out for your race leader. But Zach Lockett, I believe, also may have potentially found his way to pit road after that. He said he caused enough drama. I think he actually towed from there.
He did. I don't want to call that rage quitting per se, but clearly that driver's frustrated.
Actually, no, we are wrong. Zach Lockett pointed out he got disqualified after that spin.
He did point out, as I'm now seeing that information there in the admin box, so Zach Lockett, the Rocket, not having a typical day on Thursday night like we see performance-wise out of that 93 machine, as Ron was basically stating that the tone coming out of him in the chat side of things, he sounded disappointed with his performance out there tonight. And Zach, hey man, you got to remember, as good as you are and how much speed you have, it's just a bump in the road on your path to the championship in this campaign, brother. Just take it, shake it off. We know how good you are, and get ready for next week, as that's going to happen throughout the course of a season, Ron. You're not going to be 100% laser primed and focused to win it each and every week. You'd like to be, but that's just the reality of it, and I know confidently that Lockett will bounce back next week 100%.
It's definitely, my buddy. It's been fun here at the Circuit of the Americas. I'll leave it to you and Diego Rodriguez to bring this one home, and good luck to him throughout the rest of the course of this event with just the 3 laps to go, and we will catch you next week here with the Racers Elite Network. I'll be back for sure.
You better be. I count on you, brother, and it's great to be back up here in the booth with you again. I missed you guys on Sunday. You did a heck of a job, and way to hold it down for me once again. Well, Xfinity was replacing the line in our area. Great to be back, and have a great call, great race in your doubleheader this evening, my friend.
And you have a great night and a great end to the one here with the Circuit of the Americas.
I appreciate it, brother. Godspeed, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
As Ron's now going to take the headset off. Take my Butterfinger. I'm watching you. The Butterfinger Bandit, folks. I'm telling you, you got to watch it.
All right, Wi-Fi Hustler. We'll catch you later.
Love you, buddy. Appreciate him, and doubling up back-to-back broadcasts. Those are tough. And he's got to go produce one, and he always makes sure that I got the support I need here. And I appreciate the heck out of Ron for being here on Thursday nights and everything that he does to help support the cause, as I like to say. Is welcome to the Diego Rodriguez Show, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it pains me to... Man, what could have been for Troy Thomas? Still a great effort. Oh, man, that car was just so good. I knew he was smiling in that race car. Straight cheesing. Until that unfortunate event happened on the racetrack with Taft, who runs in that 6th place position. But that's racing. It's never guaranteed. But I know this one's going to sting for him, even though it's a 4th place. He's going to end up with a solid finish here. His teammate as well, in Truth Hoke, who's currently got it locked into the podium. Everyone chasing this guy. Diego Rodriguez in that Dark Horse Mustang. And let's not count out Brandon Honeycutt with a solid performance. I mean, he was really putting on a show out there on the racetrack, if you ask me. Not afraid to take chances, get after it, jump on the attack. We see those rotors growing lava orange on that Toyota. I wish I could get him to do an interview with maybe one time, just once, Brandon. Think about it. If you place in the podium or if you win one of these things, I'd really like it if you came up here to the booth and did an interview. That's not his thing, and I respect that. But, a driver that's so good and often in the conversation so much, you'd like to hear his perspective on things because you respect it. But like we see on the racetrack, you may never know what the future may hold, as we are now on the final lap. We're going to give Diego Rodriguez 100% ownership of this final lap. Brought to you by McConey Setup Shop, the official speed shop of Oh my God. Can you tell I work for another network? The official speed shop of Racers Elite Network. Want to put some vibe in your ride? Reach out to those guys and tell them Racers Elite Network send you. Remember, it's good for a couple dents out there on the racetrack and then some. That is McConey Speed Shop. One more time for the 20 through parts corner. Back on the loud pedal. Quickly transitions to the binders. Trying to make it around here one more time. Less than a half a lap to go for Diego Rodriguez as you're on board. Little off track there. That's going to be okay. No harm, no foul. Higher speed sweeping section of the racetrack. Is he going to grab a gear, put his foot back in it, let her rip tater chip, Cletus McFarland style? Look at him having some fun now. Sends it into that corner like grandma's business after church on Sunday. And Diego Rodriguez is going to win the first road race of the season for Ford as he comes across the start-finish line first. He is your winner tonight as he starts to do the jig after crossing the stripe. Brandon Honeycutt, Mr. Slice and Dice here tonight, going to come home second as he now comes in to the hard braking zone. Truth Hoke going to come home in that third place position. Remember, some of these drivers are substantially further back than we typically normally see at an oval. Little smoke from that 55 as he's got some damage to the face. And heartbreak here for this guy. Oh, that is tough. That's a tough pill to swallow there, Troy. Hell of an effort, brother. Christopher Pendle going to come home with a solid fifth place effort. And because he's right there, the HMFIC, Andrew Teft, no practice, no problem. He's going to punch his ticket. Successful. Coming out of COTA with the top 6 finishes. He's going to zig heil it right into the... Oh, my. I did not expect that. Andrew's saying, Matt, I wonder if you're paying attention. Well, you wanted some fireworks, folks. Here you go. Like a kamikaze out of World War II. Teft goes supernova. Watch this. The words of Ludacris, be like poof, be gone. I can't say the other part, but that is going to do it. Is this race now in the books as we get ready to shift to post-race coverage here on Racers Elite Network. Want to thank all of you as Andrew's parts of his race car continue to scatter across the racetrack for joining us here for this broadcast this evening. Thanks for sounding off. Hope you had a great time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell. That way you'll get notified each and every time Racers Elite Network is live, bringing you all the high-octane action. Give these drivers a minute to speak with their team, their family, their friends. As we watch post-race fireworks there, courtesy of that Ford. And again, like I was saying, get ready to transition to post-race production here on Racers Elite Network. Diego Rodriguez gonna be your winner here tonight. Drivers now standing by in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth. Unfortunately, we will not get to hear from Brandon Honeycutt. I want to see if we can grab him. Before he jumps out of here. Because in my opinion, he's very deserving of it. Joining me now in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth, the Nitrous Cowboy, Troy Thomas. Matt up top, you got a copy there, sir.
What's up, Mr. Matt?
Brother, man, what an effort from you tonight. I didn't expect that. I loaded in this session, and I about had to pick my jaw up off the floor.
Well, if I wouldn't have shot myself in the foot, I could have probably raced better, but cold tires got me.
I'll tell you what, man. My heart hurts for you genuinely right now.
It's all good.
Man, that's a tough pill to swallow, man. But clearly, you got some serious boogie in that race car when it comes to when you have to turn right and left. Good Lord, my friend.
Maybe painting it Wrangler, I got some of Truth's bad luck. I don't know. That might be the only race I do this as.
Well, I think that the storyline here is you both really had a lot of speed here. I mean, people are going to remember this. I'm going to remember it. I did not know that you were a road racer. I've never heard you talk about it. I haven't heard Truth talk about it. So I'm trying to digest this as we're going. And, I mean, you're just out there knocking them dead. At one point, you had a pretty sizable time penalty, able to give up 8 seconds like nothing because you had that real estate to work with. And then, unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time with another race car in close proximity to you on the racetrack. As tough as that was to watch, what was that like from your perspective inside the cockpit of that race car, bud?
Well, I didn't feel like I got on it hard because I had cold tires. Like, all right, I was just barely, but I got on it and it went right towards Andrew. I was like, oh man, that's. Should I apologize, Andrew? Again, Andrew, I'm sorry if you watch this. I feel horrible about it, but you live and you learn.
Well, I can tell you this: the contact was there, absolutely, but you got the worst end of the stick. I mean, your car took off like it had, taken a shot from a car from going 80 miles an hour. It spun out on you, impact there with the fence, and Teft continued to charge on pretty good there. He comes home in that 6th place position, but still, you don't want to see that contact. When that happened out there on the racetrack, what was it like after that? Did you? I just felt like I'd watched one of the worst possible things unfold up here in the booth, man. We're not supposed to have favorites up here. But, I watch you out there. You put up the good fight every single time you put it on the racetrack. And you just had such amazing speed in that race car. And I really wanted to see you win that one. But I'll tell you what. I look forward to what's next. I think you got
Phoenix.
one coming in the near future, buddy.
Yeah, we go Phoenix next week. I'm not good at Phoenix, but, hey, I've gotten better this year, I think. So it's getting better. That's all I want. I feel like I gave this away, but I'm glad my teammate Diego won it. I think Misfits finished four spots out of the top 7, so that's pretty good for the team.
Man, I think you got a lot to hang your head on, to be proud of from a whole team effort, yourself and Truth. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you guys now at Watkins Glen. That's for certain. You're on my radar. And Troy, before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 3, buddy?
Oh, thank you guys for broadcasting. Andrew for everything he does. Again, sorry, Andrew. My apologies, our teammates, you guys, man. COTA's hard. It's a hard place to race. And my wife, of course, so gotta thank her for letting me do this.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The Nitrous Cowboy goes big time in prime time. Had a darn fast car out there on the racetrack, walking away from the competition, and it all blew up in his face, Wile E. Coyote style, as he had a very rare slip into Andrew Teft's 98 machine, which sent him spinning out of control. Unfortunately, unable to recover in that winning department, however, comes home with a solid top 5 finish, and he'll look to carry that momentum into next week. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And tell the truth, I said hello, and great job out there as well, buddy.
I'll do it, bud.
So we now go ahead and move the Nitrous Cowboy back down to his team chat. And again, I do apologize. I just snagged him. He had no idea he was coming up here. So that's one of the risks you take as a broadcaster, but I thought he definitely deserved some time up here in the booth after an effort like that this evening. Now, joining me up top in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, Diego, you're bad fast on the super speedways. You're quick on the short tracks, and on the road courses, you clearly have all phases covered. Once again, another race. You're a winner multiple times this season. Third so far this year in this campaign. How were you able to get that Mustang into victory lane and hold off the competition in those tight, grueling moments out there on the racetrack? Because Lord knows you had a ton of them out there.
Pit, he spun out coming out of turn 1 or 2. And that gave me the lead in the final like 15 laps. I just kept telling myself, no need to push, when they're 10 seconds behind. I just kept the car clean and was just trying to keep it from, not getting in the wall, just keeping the lead.
Yeah, well said, my man. And again, another solid effort from start to finish from you guys. Great qualifying effort. Seemed like your car was really well balanced over the course of those runs. You never really had a lot of fall off, and able to hold off the hard-charging Brandon Honeycutt out there. Describe the battle with you guys on the racetrack. That was the ticket here at COTA. I mean, just watching you two serve up greatness out there on the racetrack. What was that battle like from your perspective?
Yeah, me and him were battling for a good 10 laps before
Absolutely.
we pit. And he pit a lap before me, and I stayed out. I pit the next lap. He came out maybe 2 seconds ahead, and I closed the gap down. And then he spun, and that gave me the lead. But me and him, yeah, we were battling pretty hard for a while. We weren't hitting each other, no contact. We were just racing clean.
Yeah, it was certainly clean racing, but you guys were really putting the pressure to one another. Didn't really see one of you guys flinch either. I mean, you were like the Iceman when he was just inches off your bumper trying to get you to mirror drive, make a mistake, and you didn't flinch. And that was a fun battle to watch between you guys out there on the racetrack. A solid effort out of the 20. Before I cut you loose, man, once again, who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done? The floor is yours.
Yeah, you guys for putting on really good broadcasts every week. And then Andrew for hosting a really good league. My parents for, watching and they enjoy when I do this stuff. And that's really it.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Diego Rodriguez finds a way to bring it home and survive and be alive at the end when it counts. He's your winner from COTA, the first stop on the road course side of things here in the 2025 campaign. Look for him to keep all this mojo going throughout the course of the season. Next place on the schedule, Phoenix. I can promise you he's going to be a factor there as well next week. So make sure you turn back in if you're following the 20 in here at primetime. Racers Elite Network, the place to be Thursday night to catch all of his coverage right here on the channel. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, buddy, and you have a great rest of the week. Look forward to speaking with you soon. That, once again, is the one and only Diego Rodriguez. Clearly one of the stars, one of the elites and favorites to win the championship. Just so good. And, like I said, top of the broadcast, I wasn't lying. I don't have a lot of experience with road course racing is it's a different science, it's a different formula. And I appreciate the opportunity to be up here to bring you guys all the sights and sounds from the Circuit of the Americas. The big question I had, which drivers would, rise to the top? And clearly, Troy Thomas, the biggest breakout star of the evening. I did not have that on my bingo card. I didn't have Truth Hoke on it either, but those two guys, hello, I see you. And then, not surprised one bit, though, to see the 20 win this race with as good as he has been all season long, proving he can get it done just about any time they suit up. No banking required. He can turn right, too. Once again, that's your winner, Diego Rodriguez. As that's going to wrap up post-race interviews here on Redline Racing Network. Want to take a moment to thank all of the fans for joining us here, being a part of the action, shouting out your favorite drivers. Enjoyed engaging with you and having you guys along on board for the ride. Thanks, Andrew Teft, all the admins, all the sponsors behind the scenes that make this league possible. And as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Racers Elite Network. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening.